Good afternoon to all. Our next unit is electric traction. Let us initially discuss about traction system. The traction system is the system that causes propulsion of a vehicle in which the driving force or the tractive force is obtained from various devices such as electric motors, steam engine drives, diesel engine drives. Okay, so traction system is the system that causes propulsion of a vehicle in which driving force is obtained from various devices. Okay, such as it can be a steam engine, electric motor, or diesel engine. Okay, traction system can be classified into two types: electric traction system and non-electric traction system. So in electric traction system, this traction system will use electrical energy for the propulsion of a vehicle, whereas non-electric traction system, it will not use electrical energy for the propulsion of a vehicle. So the traction system can be classified into electric traction system or non-electric traction system. The only difference between these two, electric traction system and non-electric traction system, is that electric traction system will use electrical energy for the propulsion of a vehicle, whereas non-electric traction system will not use electrical energy for the propulsion of a vehicle. So let us see what is this ideal traction system. So in practice, ideal traction system does not exist. Okay. So normally no single traction system will fulfill the requirement of ideal traction system. Why? Because each traction system has its own merits and suffers from its own drawbacks in the field of applications. Okay. So every traction system has its own merits and demerits in the field of their applications. Therefore, no single traction system is ideal. Okay, but let us see the requirements of an ideal traction system. Ideal traction system should have capability of developing high tractive effort in order to have rapid acceleration. Okay, so an ideal traction system should have the capability of developing high tractive effort in order to have rapid acceleration. The speed control of the traction motor should be easy. Okay. So one more requirement is vehicle should be able to run on any route without interruption. One more requirement is number of equipments required for traction system should be minimum with high efficiency. It should be free from smoke, ash, dirt. Regenerative braking should be possible. So regenerative braking means it is an energy recovery mechanism. Okay, regenerative braking is an energy recovery mechanism which slows a vehicle or object by converting its kinetic energy into a form which can be either used immediately or stored until needed. Okay, so regenerative braking will convert the kinetic energy into the form which can be either used immediately or stored until needed by the vehicle. So regenerative braking should be possible and braking should be in such a way to cause minimum wear on the brake shoe. Locomotive should be self-contained and it must be capable of withstanding overloads. Okay, and interference to the communication line should be eliminated while the locomotive is running along the track. These are all the requirements of this ideal traction system. Let us see the advantages of this electric traction. Electric traction system is more clean and easy to handle, and no need of storage of coal and water, that in turn reduces the maintenance cost as well as the saving of the hybrid coal. And one more advantage is electrical energy drawn from the supply distribution system is sufficient enough to maintain the common necessities of the locomotive such as fans and lights. Therefore, there is no need of providing any additional generators in this. Okay, so whatever supply that is coming from the distribution system is more than sufficient to maintain the necessities of the locomotives. Okay, the maintenance and running costs are comparatively low. The speed control of electric motor is easy. Regenerative braking is possible, so the energy can be fed back to the supply system during the braking period. Okay, during the braking period, energy can be fed back to the supply system. In electric traction system, in addition to mechanical braking, electrical braking can also be used that reduces the wear on the brake shoes and wheels. Electrically operated vehicles can withstand for overloads as the system is capable of drawing more energy from the system. Means supply, more energy from the supply. Okay, so let us see the disadvantages of the electric traction. In addition to the above advantages, electric traction system suffers from the following drawbacks. Those are: the electric traction system involves high erection cost of power system. It causes interference to the communication lines due to overhead distribution networks. The failure of power supply brings whole traction system to standstill. In an electric traction system, the electrically operated vehicles have to move along on the electrified routes only. And additional equipment should be needed for the provision of regenerative braking. It will increase the overall cost of the installation. These are all the disadvantages. So let us see the review of existing electric traction system in India. The first traction system was introduced by Britain in the year of 1890 on 600 volts DC track. So the electrification system was employed for this first traction vehicle, and the electric traction system was introduced in India in the year of 1925, and the first traction system employed in India was from Bombay VT to Igatpuri and Pune with 1500 volts DC supply. Okay, so the first traction system was introduced by Britain in 1890, and in India it was introduced in the year of 1925. So the DC supply, which was which was feeding this electric traction system, that supply was obtained for traction from substation equipment with the rotary converters. So here you can see an olden traction system. Okay, so the development in the rectifiers led to the replacement of these rotary converters by mercury arc convert rectifiers. But due to further development in the technology, okay, the technology of these semiconductors, these mercury arc valves are replaced by solid states semiconductor devices for fast traction system on 3000 volts DC. Okay, so initially in the substations, rotary converters were there. They were later replaced by mercury arc rectifiers, and these mercury arc rectifiers were further replaced by solid state semiconductor devices for fast traction system. Further development in research on traction system by French International Railways. Okay, what they have suggested is that based on the relative merits and demerits, it is advantageous to prefer AC than DC, both financially and operationally. Okay, so this French International Railway, they suggested to prefer AC rather than DC, both because it is advantageous both financially and operationally. Okay, thus this Indian Railways was introduced on 52 kilovolts 50 hertz single phase AC system in 1957. Okay, so based on this advice given by this French International Railway. Okay, so the Indian Railways was introduced on 52 kilovolts 50 hertz single phase AC system in 1957. This system of track electrification led to the reduction of the cost of overhead locomotive equipments. Okay. So we can see in this image various systems employed for track electrification. Okay. So if the supply system is DC, the voltage that is given for traction system is around 600 volts or 1500 volts or 3000 volts. If the system is single phase AC system, then the voltage required is 15 to 25 kilovolts, that is stepped down to 300 to 400 volts at a frequency of 162 by 3 hertz and 25 hertz. If the system is three phase, then a voltage of 15 to 25 kilovolts is stepped down to 3300 to 3600 volts at a frequency of 162 by 3 hertz and 50 hertz. Okay. So let us discuss about this traction system further. So traction system is normally classified into two types based on the type of energy given as input to the drive system. Okay, to drive the system. Okay, so they are non-electric traction system and electric traction system. Okay, so non-electric traction system is the system which develops the necessary propelling torque and do not involve the use of electrical energy at any stage. Okay, to drive the traction vehicle. So in order to drive the traction vehicle, these non-electric traction systems does not involve any use of electrical energy to develop the necessary propelling torque. Okay, so such systems you can call it as non-electric traction systems, and examples for such systems are direct steam engine drive and direct internal combustion engine drive. So this is an example of direct steam engine drive. Okay, and this is an example of direct internal combustion drive. Okay, so the first one is non-electric traction system. The second one is electric traction system. The traction system which develops the necessary propelling torque and involves the use of electrical energy at any stage to drive the traction vehicle is known as electric traction system. So what is an electric traction system? It is a system which will develop the necessary propelling torque and involves the use of electrical energy at any stage to drive the traction vehicle is known as electric traction system. Okay, based upon the type of sources used to feed the electric system for traction purpose, electric traction may be classified into two groups. One is self-contained locomotive group, another one is electric vehicle fed from the distribution networks. Okay, so this it can be classified into two groups. One is self-contained locomotives, other one is electric vehicle fed from the distribution networks. Okay, so let us see what is the self-contained locomotive. So in this type, the locomotives or vehicles themselves have a capability of generating electrical energy for traction purpose. Okay, so in this type, self-contained locomotives, the locomotive or the vehicle itself has the capability of itself have the capability of generating electrical energy for traction purpose. Examples of such self-contained locomotives are steam electric drive, diesel electric trains, petrol electric traction, and battery drives. Okay, examples of these self-contained locomotives which have the capability of generating electrical energy on their own for traction purpose are steam electric drive, diesel electric trains, petrol electric traction, and battery drives. Okay, so let us discuss about the steam electric drive. So you can see, just for example, I'm showing this image. It's a steam turbine electric drive. In steam electric drive locomotives, the steam turbine is employed. Okay, in these vehicles, steam turbine is employed for driving a generator used to feed the electric motor. So now to drive the generator which is feeding the electric motor, here steam turbine is used in these vehicles. And such type of locomotives are not generally used for traction because of some mechanical difficulties and maintenance problems. Okay, so because of some mechanical difficulties and maintenance problems, this type of locomotives are not generally used. Okay, so next one is diesel electric train. So few locomotives employing diesel and engine coupled to a DC generator. Okay. So few locomotives employing diesel engine coupled to a diesel engine is coupled to a DC generator used to feed the electric motor, okay, producing necessary propelling torque. Okay, so here diesel engine is coupled to the generator, which is giving the required energy for the traction motor to produce the necessary propelling torque. And diesel engine is a variable high-speed type that can feed self-excited or supply excited DC generator. And the excitation of the generator can be supplied from an auxiliary device or battery. So the excitation for this generator can be supplied from an auxiliary device or a battery. Generally, this type of traction system is suggested in the areas where coal and steam tractions are not available. Okay, so the areas where coal and steam tractions are not available, there diesel electric trains are used. So let us see the advantage of diesel engine drive. As these are no means as these don't require any overhead distribution system, initial cost is low, easy speed control is possible, power loss in speed control is also very low, time taken to bring the locomotive into service is less. In this system, high acceleration and braking retardation can be obtained, and overall efficiency is high. These are all the advantages. Disadvantages are overloading capability of the diesel engine is less, running and maintenance costs are high, regenerative braking cannot be employed in diesel engine drives. So these are all the drawbacks. Next is petrol electric traction. So this is a petrol engine. So this system of traction is used in road vehicles such as heavy lorries and buses. And these vehicles are capable of handling overloads. At the same time, this system provides fine and smooth control so that they can run along roads without any jerks. Okay, so I'm showing an older image of petrol electric traction. Petrol is well refined than diesel. Therefore, the flame speed of the petrol is much faster than diesel. So since flame speed is high, all of its energy is released in sudden in petrol engines. Hence, lesser reciprocating weight and faster combustion gives petrol engine its better acceleration as its torque curve is almost linear. Okay. Next type of self-contained locomotive is battery operated drive. Okay, so in this drive locomotive consists of batteries. Okay, locomotives will be consisting of batteries used to these batteries are used to supply power to the DC motors employed for driving the vehicles. Okay, so this type of drives can be preferred for frequently operated services such as local delivery goods, traction in industrial works and mines. Okay, So these threads are used due to the unreliability of the supply source to feed the electric motors. Okay. So now due to the unreliability of the supply source, these battery operated locomotives are used. Okay. So this is about self-contained locomotives. Next is electric vehicles fed from the distribution network. So the vehicles in electric traction system that receives power from an overhead distribution network fed from the substation with suitable spacing are the electric vehicles. Okay. So based on the availability of the supply, these electric vehicles which are fed from the distribution network can be categorized into system operating with DC supply and a system operating with AC supply. Okay, they can be categorized into the system operating with DC supply and the system operating with AC supply. And the examples of the systems which operate with DC supply are tramways, trolley buses, and railways. Examples for the systems which operate with AC supply are railways. Okay, so this is a tramway. Example of a tramway. This is an example of a trolley bus, and this is an example of DC supply railway. Okay, and this is an example of AC supply railway. Okay, so let us discuss about the systems operating with DC supply. So if the available system is the DC, then the necessary propelling power can be obtained from the vehicles from the DC system, such as the tramway or trolley buses or the railways, DC railways, we can say. So let us discuss these examples. Tramways first. Okay. So this is a tramway. So tramways are similar to ordinary buses. You can see it seems as if it is an ordinary bus and cars, but only the difference is they are able to run only on the track. You can see a track here. Okay? This is the track. See, the operating power supply for the tramway is around 500 volts. DC tramways are fed from a single overhead line. You can see a single overhead line here. Conductor which acts as a positive polarity that is fed at a suitable point from either power station or substation. This single polarity conductor, positive polarity conductor is fed from either from a power station or a substation, and the track on which this tramway is moving, it acts as the return conductor. Okay, so the equipments used in the tramways is similar to that used in railways, but with a small output, not more than 40 to 50 kilowatts. Okay, I can show you one more tramway. This is the tramway of Kolkata. Okay, so this is the collector. There will be one collector. This is the collector. There will be a single collector here to collect the current from this line, single line. So usually these tramways are provided with two driving axles to control the speed of the vehicle from either end. The main drawback of tramway is that they have to run along the guided routes only. Rheostatic and mechanical braking can be applied to tramways. Mechanical brakes can be applied at low speeds for providing better saturation, where electric braking is ineffective during the normal service. Okay, so whenever electric braking is ineffective, and during that time we can apply mechanical brakes. Okay, next is trolley buses. Okay, so the main drawback of the tramway is what they have to run along the track. Okay, but trolley buses not to they need not they don't require any track. Okay, So the trolley buses are electrically operated vehicles and are usually fed from 600 volts DC from two overhead conductors. These are the two overhead conductors, what you can see. And the electrical energy is collected by this trolley bus with the help of these two collectors. You can see yellow color collectors here. Two collectors will collect the electrical energy from these two overhead conductors. Even though overhead distribution structure is costlier, trolley buses are advantageous because they eliminate the necessity of track on the road. Okay. So in case of trolley buses, rheostatic braking is employed due to high adhesion between the road and the rubber tires. And the motor that is used in these trolley buses is DC compound motor.